The PC world has been kind of odd as of late. Roger Kadori taking a break, a sabbatical I believe they call it. People saying, good, don't bring your ass back, you son of a bitch. And from what I understand of Roger Kadori leaving is that Vega was in the works before Kadori was part of the team, the Radeon Technologies group. Supposedly, you will see his ideas come to fruition with, Nvidia, whatever you call it. And if that flops, then there's no excuses as to who to blame. But on the other hand, if Nvidia, or whatever it's called, is basically an amalgamation of Vega, I don't have high hopes for it at all. For the time being, Lisa Soon will be taking over as the head of the RTG group. And people are screaming, oh, she'll probably save them. I'm like, how? He's only leaving for 3 fucking months. What is she gonna do in 3 months that'll change anything? But also there's been a litany of leaks and information on the new i7-8700K 6-core CPU from Intel. Well, the first bit of news that I got were the price leaks for the Coffee Lake CPUs. And apparently the 6-core i5s is where Intel is really planning on kicking AMD in the balls. But the prices is kind of right. Like for the 8400, it's gonna be around $200. The 8600K, $300. Well, actually $273, so around what, $20, about $10, $20 more than the 6-core offering from AMD's Ryzen. But supposedly the performance levels are much higher than the Ryzen counterpart at this price point. But once again, I'm pretty sure the Intel Mobos aren't going to be cheap per as usual. So if these leaks are to be believed, the 8700 and 8700K, well, the 8700 is going to be around the same price as usually the K top of the line i7 CPU, which kind of sucks because that basically means the 8700K, which is basically the overclocked version of the 8700 as we all know, is going to come in at $389. So kissing $400, which means what, a $40 to $50 price increase for 2 more cores. I'm pretty sure Ks only allow you overclocking, right? Last I recall, I only ever got Ks because I didn't need any sort of restrictions. Technically, my estimations of this price chart could be off, so do forgive me. In the long run, the new Coffee Lake does stand to be a better performer than Ryzen, but not that much better, not mind-blowingly better. And in the end, how much is that worth to you? I mean, if there's a 10% to 15% boost in performance, that's cool and all, but still it's going to be pricey versus the Ryzen counterparts. So once again, price to performance will always land on AMD's Ryzen. Also, there were leaked benchmarks, supposedly, if I could find them. A Canadian tech journalist who stumbled upon the HP Omen desktop PC with the A700K CPU. Well, the supposed leaked benchmarks show that in Cinebench, the PU benchmarks for Cinebench found all cores running at 1230 and single core performance at 196. The 4790K does about 170 something. Not an amazing jump, but still a jump in performance. But overall, all cores running was at 1230, and the 4790, to give some sort of reference, was only doing around 800 to 900. So still a decent jump in performance. To give perspective, this is only 100 points more than the Ryzen 5 1600 for the 8700K. So like I said earlier, it's slightly better, but not that much better in the all-core performance. Some of these leak photos are just so hard, it's barely legible for me. The next leak from video cards comes from Geekbench, where you can find EVGA's upcoming Z370 motherboard paired off with the 8700K. The single core performance from EVGA internal CO LTD default string is 5,773 is the single core score, while the multi-core score comes at 24,260. These tests were uploaded on September 8th, 2017. There are also a multitude of pictures that can be found on Reddit of the 8700K variant CPU. It was pictured from both sides while compared to current 7th gen Kaby Lake processors. The pin layout seems to be the same, which again raises the question why Intel is not making an 8th gen CPU compatible with existing motherboards. at least the ones with powerful enough VRAMs. And I can tell you that because money. Get away. I was going to do a whole sort of song and dance of the Pink Floyd song Money, but I was never a Pink Floyd fan. It's probably because one of my ex-girlfriends liked Pink Floyd, and I wanted to hit her over the head with a goddamn vinyl record. Oh my god, the violence! Well, let's move on to something else, something more interesting, and this video's probably already gone on longer than I wanted it to, in all honesty. The fact that there is supposedly a rumor for a 1070 Ti. In one hand, I sit there and go, what the fuck point does that make? But then again, I remember 660 Ti's and so on and so forth, so why can't there be a 1070 Ti? Now, this one allegedly features the Pascal GP104 GPU with 2,304 cores, 8 gigabytes of memory. GDDR5 or GDDR5X is what is not specified currently. Well, Nvidia, well, I can't put it past Nvidia in all honesty. It almost seems like they see how Vega's already reeling and they want to not only put a nail in the coffin, but drop a boulder on it. And in this case, let's just remember how Nvidia kind of kept it silent that they are dropping the Titan XP right after their last Titan X that everybody else called the Titan XP, and then they come out like, here's the fully unlocked one, suck a dick you faggot if you bought our last one. Sucks to suck, shoulda waited, welcome to the game, bitch. And then Jim Hazong does a roundhouse kick into a picture of Roger Kaduri. Well, anyway, so technically this card will be similar to the GP104 based GTX 1080 and the 1070. The difference will lie in the configuration of the chip itself. Now, it looks to be an interesting graphics card as well as a sandwich between the 1070 and the 1080 Ti. What makes this really strange is the fact that where would this card sit? 1070 Ti. Was it just going to be slightly slower than a 1080 by a hair? Then what would be the point of buying the 1080? You know? I mean, it's confusing to really look at it. I can't figure it out. The only logical explanation I could surmise from this is to be a 1070 that'll do a little bit better, a bit closer to 1080 in performance. It'll probably completely overshadow the 980 Ti because most people look and go, well, I could get a 1070 or use 980 Ti for cheap. Not so much anymore, but that was the case for a while. And now this happens, the 1070 comes down in price, once again destroying Vega as far as price to performance, and kicking any 500 series AMD card you can think of in the balls, considering they're not even that easy to find anymore. Nobody's even talking about those cards. I haven't heard anyone say shit about a 560, 70, or 80 in so long. It's weird. It's like the cards just ceased to exist after Vega kind of flopped. This would be just one more roundhouse kick to the face of AMD. I really don't know what the thought process is other than making the 1070 cheaper, more competitive, and rubbing salt in the wound of AMD's Vega project. And the 1070 Ti being a little bit of a bump up. Well, actually, the 1070 Ti will probably stay at the price of the 1070 and 1070 go lower, so I'm pretty much sure anyone sitting there going, oh, well, you know, I kind of want a new graphics card. I was looking at the 1070, but now the 1070 Ti is out at the price of the 1070, and it's even better. Or I could get a 1070 for cheaper. Maybe I'll buy two 1070s and SLI them. The possibilities are endless, and it just completely knocks AMD out of the equation because most people who are either A, new to PC gaming, or B, have no affiliation to any company is looking for the best they can get. It's basically believed that the price point between the new 1070 Ti will be $399 to $449. The former close to the 1070 while the latter is closer to the 1080. Now, the only real proof anyone has of this is this single photo that was taken over at some Asian market where it was featuring, I think, a laptop of some sort by Asus that had the i7 7700K CPU. That's a lot of Asian writing, I can't read that. And the GTX 1070 Ti Strix from Asus as well. Interesting. 650 watt power supply. So is this like a pre-made PC or something? Personally, my thought is with this is wait. You know, unless you can't wait, unless like your graphics card is wheezing and dying in your system, then by all means hop on a new graphics card if a 1070 Ti comes out. But personally, I would say wait it out. I have a strong feeling that the Volta graphics cards will be teased either this fall or in January of next year. So in the next coming months, they'll be teased, and then they'll probably drop around May or June, I'm guessing. Now you know how it all rolls. Can actually give more of a shit than me. Rate, comment, subscribe if you so choose to. If not, the hell with it. I mean, you got better things to do, baby. And I'm not gonna beg you to bash a like button and yada blah, whatever the hell popular YouTubers tell people to do. Fuck it. Go do what you want. Try some mescaline. Open up your mind to some hallucinogenic drugs. Look at the world from the outside in and see how funny it is. As George Carlin used to say, this is a freak show and you've got a ticket. And as Hunter S. Thompson once said, buy the ticket, take the ride, and the ride will take you.